Hi everybody, I'm excited that you are joining us today on the Voice of Reformation, brought to you by the New African Concept. If this is the first time you are joining us, the New African Concept is a movement that is committed to holistic national transformation, and what we are bringing to you is the Voice of Reformation, a series of videos and engagements that thrives and seeks to address certain issues that border on national consciousness and things that can cause personal development as well. And so it is great that you are joining us today on this particular session. For some time now, we have been dealing with the school of values, the school of values. And if you have not been watching our other videos, I'll certainly recommend that you check out the other ones we've done. We've spoken on various values that we believe would help us as a nation and as individuals to advance progress and development, as it were. And so we've always maintained, and we always say that nations are founded and built upon their value systems and not their resources or geographical location or anything of the sort. And this is an important truth that we must understand, that if a nation is going to matter, if a nation is going to carry any weight of any kind, it must focus on the values that it thrives on. It must focus on the values that its people live their lives with. And so these are the things that we are looking at. And so in today's video, we are looking at the value of the significance of purpose. The value of the significance of purpose. If we were to cut it short, we'll call it the value of purpose, as it were. And so this is what we want to consider. So we've spoken about various values, but today we are looking at the value of purpose. If nations are going to step into her place or their place of relevance, if Africa is going to take up her place of glory, it must begin to consider the value of purpose. Now, let us ask the question, what is purpose? When we talk about purpose, what exactly is it? It is the reason for the existence of something. It is the reason for the existence of something. The something here could be anything at all. It could be an individual, it could be a nation, it could be even an experience, right? So the purpose of anything, now when we bring it down even to more practical terms, when you take an item, the purpose of the item is the original intent in the mind of the manufacturer at the time of the production even of that item, right? So we talk about purpose, we are talking about originality. What was the original intent of the item, of the system, of whatever it is that is happening at the moment? And so we want to consider and understand that everything has a purpose. Your phone has a purpose. Pen has a purpose. The chair you are sitting on, it has a purpose. Everything around you has a purpose. And in today's session, I want us to understand and focus on the fact that there are three major things that have levels of purpose that can impact our advancement as a people and as a nation, both on the individual side and on a national front. Now, these three things are the fact that individuals have purposes. Every individual, including you watching me, you have a purpose for your existence. Number two, nations have purposes. Nations have, when I say nations have purpose, what that means is that when we break it down, it means their systems, their placement, everything that is working in the nation has a purpose for its establishment. So the health system, the education, the military, the justice system, the political system, all of these systems make up the nation. So when I say nations have purpose, what I mean to say is that their systems have a purpose for their establishment. And then finally, the third thing I'll talk about is that every experience has a purpose. Every experience we go through in life has a purpose. And so these are things that we must begin to consider. When you understand the value of purpose, you now begin to develop the perspective to look at everything around you and understand that all of these things have purposes. So these are things that when we do not have understanding of, then what happens is that we begin to abuse what has been given unto us. When we don't understand the purpose of our lives, then abuse is inevitable. When we don't understand the purpose of the systems that are in place, the very careers, the very various positions there are, the various openings and opportunities there are, when we don't understand these things, then we begin to abuse them. When we don't understand the experiences we've gone through and do not take the lessons from them, then we begin to abuse them. So when we take Africa, for example, Africa has a boatload of experiences it has gone through, which has shaped its growth and development until this time. So Africa has the history of slavery and colonialism and so many other things, which it has gone through and developed up until this time. But in this very moment, we want to ask ourselves, have we learned the lessons from the experiences that we've gone through? Have we come to a place where we can put a purpose to the kind of things that we have gone through? Because when you don't understand the purpose of a thing, when you don't understand the reason and extract the lessons from it, then repetition is inevitable. So fine, slavery may have happened, but if we don't take the lessons from it, then it's going to reoccur even in a different form. And still, when we have not understood the lessons from it, it will continue to damage us. So we must learn from our experiences as a nation. We must learn from our experiences as individuals. We must learn the purpose of the systems that are in place. So today we have children going to school, we have people in various career positions, we have people in governance, we have people in the police force. But let's ask ourselves, do they really understand why they are there? Do we understand the purpose of why we go to school? Do we understand the purpose of education? Do we understand the purpose of being in the legislative force or being in the place of the executive system? Do we understand the purpose of these things? Do you understand the reason why or the purpose to which you are in the position you are in? When we don't deduce what is the very reason why we are doing these things, the motive behind the things we are doing, then once again, abuse is inevitable. That is why we find nowadays people going to school, they don't see the relevance of it. They think that it is set to certification. All we have submitted or subjected education to is that we go to school just to gain certificates, just to gain certain credentials, so we can also get into certain positions and start making money. When this kind of understanding thrives in a nation, then you know that development is going to be stifled. Then you know that the relevance and significance that comes from fulfilling purpose is going to be stifled and truncated. So we must begin to develop a national consciousness to understand the purpose of the systems and institutions that have been put in place to work corporately and communally to advance our nations. So from education to our health system to our political system especially, many people go into politics without understanding why politics is. So you see, the issue is that many people know what politics is not, but we don't understand what it should be. And that is when we begin to understand the value of purpose. So we know that it is not supposed to be. No. When we look at the aspect of democracy, this is not how democracy is supposed to be. When we look at our governance system, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. When we look at our economic situation, we realize, no, this is not how we are supposed to handle money. This is not how we are supposed to go about things. But the question is, so how exactly are we supposed to go about it? Remember the definition from the onset. What is the original intent of being a member of parliament? What is the actual purpose? What is my very motive and reason for representing the people in my constituency? What is the purpose of being a pastor? What is the purpose of being a father? So all of these systems, so we take the system of even marriage. What is the purpose of marriage? So when we live in a nation or in a land where there are divorce and divorce rates are going up by the day and by months and years, and there is the concern seems to be on the low and nobody seems to be bothered about it, that shows how much we devalue the place of purpose even of these systems. Because if we understood what marriage is supposed to be and realized what was going on, then we would realize that something is off. This is not how marriage is supposed to be. This is not how the family system in our nation is supposed to be. Because these are things that, as I said from the beginning, cut us, set us apart and grant us that sense of nationalism to move. So we must walk in that understanding of the purpose of the things that we involve ourselves in. When you understand what these things are, when you give yourself to knowing the purpose of the things you are involved in, what that does is that it moves you from the place of survival to the place of significance. And that is what the African atmosphere seems to thrive in. We are in a place of survival. We just want to get a job where we can, get enough to sustain ourselves. Just get enough to sustain our families. When I get a place to sleep, I get maybe a car, I'm able to build a house, I marry, I have 2 children, I am fine. I am not bothered about my other brother or the advancement of whatever career I find myself in. But that is not how it's supposed to be. So when you understand the purpose of where you are, you walk into the place of significance. You move from the place of survival into the place of significance. And again, when you understand the purpose of your life, what happens is that you live your life by design and not by default. You step into a place where you are able to carve out the kind of life and the kind of productivity and advancement that is needed for your time and dispensation. So we must not simply succumb to the times and how things are naturally, but we must step into the place of questioning that what exactly is my purpose in this particular position I find myself in. When you do that, it innovates creativity and uniqueness. That is what sets us apart. That is what will move Ghana forward. That is what will give relevance to us as a nation. So wherever we find ourselves, whoever we are, we must understand that there is a purpose and a reason to it. There is a reason for the color of your skin. There is a reason for our location on our planet. There's a reason for every experience we have gone through. But have we sat down as a nation? Have you sat down as an individual to consider what is the reason for your existence and the reason for the things you do? If you have not, then this is a charge I am laying to you, to sit down and make an assessment of your life. Because where purpose is absent, abuse is inevitable. We are the New African Concept, and we are committed to helping people and by extension, as I indicated, the holistic national transformation of nations and by extension Africa, to restore us to a place of glory. And so if you're having challenges, you'd like to, you need some help in discovering your purpose, you can reach out to us, you can contact us, and we will be ever available and ready to help you. And finally, on a national level, we must begin to question, as I said earlier, what is the essence of our educational system? What is the essence of the media? What is the essence of our political system? When we understand these things, it will move us into a place of significance and uniqueness where our relevance cannot be overridden. This has been the Voice of Reformation. Do well to like, comment, let us know what your thoughts are on the value of the significance of purpose. And do well to share this video with your friends and family so that we can all together build our nation Ghana and ourselves. I believe in Ghana. We here at the New African Concept believe in Ghana, and so must you. See you in the next episode.